about designing web pages with Elementor. So first I'll go over like the style guide we use, and then the steps I kind of use to design a web page. So first, it's very important to like keep in mind the fonts and the colors that the site is using to keep things consistent. So for this particular site, which was coming out eTEFL, we use different fonts for the title, the page titles, and the body of the page. And you can see them here. And I didn't include it, but the style guide also specifies what weight and what size the font should be. So we should always take that into consideration as well. And then I look into the colors that the website has to use, and I use them to make the PowerPoint as well. Yeah, but you just can see them here. And then, so this is the homepage of the site, and I think it's always important to keep that in mind so the rest of the site stays consistent with the style, and it's very like clean, and all the colors are very bright. And I think it also has a very approachable feeling because of the little icons at the bottom. So then when I receive like a project or a page I have to do, I first review what content has to go into the page. So for this particular page, I had to redo the teacher's toolkit, and it was like a collection of links for like up and coming teachers. And so all of these links had to be on the page, right? So I had to figure out a way to organize them in a way that it was very user friendly and it made sense. So I decided to like compile these 3 links, the useful links, the guides, and the games, into a new resource, which was going to be called the teacher resource, into a new link. So because I thought it maybe organized them a little better. Wait, so then I write down like a little list of the things I have to do, and I needed to include the links for the job board, the webinars, the lesson plans, and the teacher resources. And I had to keep the same content for some of those pages, and I had to change some content for like the other pages. So I tried to keep that in mind, right? And then I draw a very low fidelity sketch of the site that I'm going to be making. And I just draw it on like the iPad, and I try to keep in mind the colors, and I try to draw it in one of the primary colors. And yeah, that's just the step. And then I try to build it on the Elementor platform as best as I can. And you can see here that I use the color scheme that was specified in the style guide, in the icons, and in the text as well. Yes. And then I'll present like the page to my supervisor, right? And so for this one example, I'm using the lesson plan page. And so the first lesson page plan I made was very like clunky, and I didn't really take into consideration the fact that it had to be expanded as the group developed more lesson plans, and I didn't really take that into consideration when I was making the page. So I just created a list of all the lesson plans, and with time, right, it would be really long because there would be a lot of links. So then I received that feedback, and I tried to take that into account, and I made it so a different page so that people could just click on each accordion little, like the little links, so that the lesson plans would pop out like this, and it wouldn't take as much space, and it would be a little more organized. So I think that listening to feedback is really important, because it really can like open your eyes to like some mistakes you're making, or something that you can improve on. So I also wanted to talk about using Elementor as a page building like system, I guess. And for this example, I'm using the job board. This is what the finished product looked like. And to make this, so wait, I had to use the different like I guess organizers and systems that the Elementor platform provided. And you can see here that I split the screen into different sections with the intersection tool, and then I created individual like little boxes for each type of jobs that were going to be on the page. And then I just wanted to show that I kept the font consistent throughout it. Like this was supposed to be the page title font, so I used it for both the job board and the teach online and the teach in person titles. And I also kept it in mind the weight, so it would pop up more, and it showed before the rest of the text, so people could navigate the page more easily. And then for the body text, I used the different font and a lighter weight, so it would visually organize the page a little better. And then for the buttons, I used the colors that the style guide provided, and I also thought that was important to keep the radius of the border like more rounded, because I think it gives like a more friendlier and approachable vibe to the site. And then as you saw on the homepage, the other buttons also did it, so I thought it was important to keep it consistent. And you can also see this like little rounded corners in the lower right corner of the screen with the little arrow going up, and they also used that, and it wasn't like straight 90-degree angle, so I used it to like curve it a little. And lastly, I used the margin and the padding tools to organize the content on the page so that it wasn't totally stretched out, or it was like covering different texts, and it works well with the background. But yeah, so I used all those tools to finalize the web page and yeah, make the finished product. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Caroline. And by the way, in case I haven't told you before, and the rest of the web team too, and Gwen as well, but the TEFL site gets a lot of compliments, and especially from alumni who are like catching up with us and say, wow, you guys really upped your game on the websites. I said, well, that's our team doing that. It looks so amazing. So
I'm glad.
Yeah.
A significant amount of that was Caroline with the teacher's toolkit. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you guys have questions, feel free to like speak up. You can raise your hand if you want, but I have a question to start off. So did you use any inspiration from similar websites when you were like redesigning the job board or anything else?
Yeah, so when I tried to create the page at the beginning, I look at all the other like English teaching websites, and I tried to see if they're doing anything similar, or like a lot of them are using like a search feature, but we didn't have like too many jobs yet. So then I was like, I don't know if it's necessary right now, right? So I didn't include that, but a lot of them did divide it by in-person or online, so I kept that feature, right? But the most research I've done was when I was updating the footer, because I wasn't exactly sure how to structure it. So then I looked at a bunch of examples from different sites.
It looks great. Great job. Yeah, any other questions for Caroline on Elementor or web design in general, or the TEFL site? No.
What do you think? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Is the like most important advice you have for someone like starting to build a website or working on a website? What would your like top advice be?
I guess it would be to like try different website builders and page builders out, because when I was starting, I tried Wix, Squarespace, and WordPress, and I really liked WordPress and Wix, but I didn't really like Squarespace. So I guess my advice would be to try everything out and see which one you prefer and which one works better for you.
I have a question. What is one of your favorite like websites kind of aesthetically in terms of UI or UX? Do you have any, I don't know, like apps or websites that you really like?
Oh yeah, so this is kind of off topic, but I was looking into different people's portfolios, and I'll send it in the chat. But I thought it was such a nice website, and all the colors and all the fonts were working so well on this person's website, and I was really, really impressed.